Morning, ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the challenge. Welcome back to the challenge. Welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to watch the Challenger. Yes, we're going to play the Challenger and just how much of a challenge this tank can actually be. Now, in the right situation, this tank can be really, really good. It got buffed a while ago, that got made even better. I've never really been a lover of this tank, but the Charioteer, the next tank up from this, is so underrated. It is unbelievable. It is such a good tank. However, the Challenger has always been a challenge. Now, the stat wise on this tank, the turret is 51 millimeters, and that is it. Your hull is 89. You're not going to get any better than that. So your paper armor, people will shoot HE at you, but you do have the spool liner to back yourself up just a little bit, so people do less damage. DPM 2672, not the worst DPM, not the best, but it's okay. The DPM's okay. It does have a tier 8 gun to go with that. Reload time is 6.74, not too bad. Penetration 220 on your AP, 252 on your APCR. So not the best, but you got enough pen, I think, to get through a few things, to be honest. You can run it with calibrated shells if you really wanted to, but I just don't think it is worth it. So damage, you have a nice 300 alpha gun on your AP, 260 on your APCR, and 350 on your HE. Aim time is not great at 4 seconds, and the dispersion, again, it's okay, but not the best at 0.317. That's actually not bad, to be honest, and it does have a 10 degrees of gun depression, and the speed goes a nice 50 kilometers per hour. So there are a couple of ways you can really play the Challenger, because it does have that speed, it does have that DPM-ish. You can either play a sort of sat at the back of the map if you really wanted to. You've got to remember you've got no armor, and that's the biggest thing with this. It's got a good rate of fire, everything like that, and it's got good gun depression, but I mean, the dispersion is not too bad to be sniping, but there are a couple of ways that you can play this tank, and that is literally, as I said, sat at the back of the map, or because you've got the speed, you can also go with your mediums and kind of use it as a medium tank. But if you're going to use it as a medium tank, don't go front line, because you're just going to get ripped apart, absolutely ripped apart. Let your mediums go and then follow suit behind them. But this game, we're going to play it like a TD. We're going to play it like a TD. We're on dead rail and we're up against tier 8s. So that makes up my mind straight away. That makes up my mind that I'm not going to go rushing in, because if I go rushing in, I'm just going to get ripped apart. So I want to sort of sit at the back of the map, farm some damage, and then later on, when I've got the hit points, I can then push in. But this IS-5 now is making me push in, because he is pushing our 53 TP. I do want to help the 53 TP, because I know that there are other tanks around this area. As you can just see, I get ripped from the Charioteer there. So I'm already a one-shot. I've only done 800 damage. I've pretty much done nothing, but I know there's only a couple of us around this side of the map, so we need to clear these guys. The Charioteer's there, the IS-5's there, and as you can see, I'm running it with the rammer just to up my DPM, and with APCR we can comfortably penetrate the IS-5. So I don't think it needs, but to be honest, I don't think a lot of tier 7s do need the calibrated shells. The rammer I like for DPM, especially if you are going to use it as a sort of sit at the back of the map, farm some damage, or even if you're going to use it as a medium tank, at least you'll have the DPM to support your medium tanks. Of course, it does have that HE as well, not the best of HE, but when you come up against tanks with no armor, you can really destroy them with the HE, just like that Charioteer there. Like, yeah, see you later. He didn't last long. And here comes the Stayer. and unfortunately I do miss that shot, but of course we are going to try and shoot HE at this guy because we can do a lot of damage to him, and before you know it, we're doing almost 400 damage per shot here. So we've managed to get 2.1k damage. There goes the stayer. It is now a 4 versus 3, so I'm a one shot. The 53 TP down here is a one shot, and there's a couple of tanks that are very low hit points as well. So I need to now sort of stay at the back of the map again because I've just got no hit points, and I don't know where the enemy are, and I don't know how many hit points they've got. So I don't want to go rushing in because I'm just going to die. We're winning on supremacy points, and that makes up my mind, and that should make up your guys' mind as well. People don't do it often enough. We're winning on tanks for now. That will change, but we're winning on supremacy points. We've got 2 bases. There is no reason whatsoever to go rushing in. Let the enemy be the ones to rush in, because they're going to have to be the ones to push. Even if they cap A, I mean, we've still got base. Well, I mean, even if they cap base C, we've still got base A. So for them to win, they're going to have to come over by either B or to A here, and I'll be waiting there. That's why I'm not rushing in. I can see that the SU-152 there is getting bullied, but there is no reason for me to rush in. This is the best position for me right now because we are winning. So basically we're going to win the game. Other than this, it's a very boring end to the game. Very boring. We do go and win. I do manage to take care of these Helsing, and we will go and win the game. But yeah, the rest of it's just running around trying to find these tanks. So this is the second game here, which I'm going to play it not really at the back of the map. We're going to play it with our mediums here, and again, I don't mind playing it with like that, but you've got to make sure that you are not front line, which is why I'm coming right here and not to the middle with my mediums. I want to be behind them, and I want them to be taking the attention of the enemy team. I want the enemy team to look at them and not me. You have a good gun, you've got a good alpha, you need to put that to use. So yeah, I mean, I like tanks that you haven't got to play it a certain way. Of course, there's tanks out there, say like the T95 or tanks like that you have to play in a certain way, or there's tanks like, say, like a Borzik, where you have to play in a certain way, which is pretty much just at the back of the map. A lot of tank destroyers with no armor is pretty much the same thing, but I like the fact that because of the speed of this thing, you can play it with your front line. You can play, or second line shall I say, you can rush the enemy with your medium tanks. As long as you're not right at the front, then you should be all right, because you've only got 1,000 hit points, you've got no armor, but you do have that spool liner just to back you up a little bit. So you can see I'm not pushing in. There's no reason for me to push in right now. The SU-152 is getting bullied, and I'm getting shots, and the Type 62 is also getting some shots out, but we do manage to clear him. And again, we've only got 700 damage for now, but we are full hit points, and I want to keep it that way for as long as possible. I like, if I can, I like saving my hit points. Of course, there is times where you have to sacrifice your hit points. You'll have no choice. But if you can keep your hit points, especially when you're in a lower tier tank against higher tiers, and the penetration against the higher tiers is not great, always trying to make sure that you do save as much hit points as you can. Even when it's in a situation like this, a 5 versus 3, that can change very, very quickly. So just try to keep your hit points as long as you can. And because I've kept my hit points, because I haven't rushed in, I've sort of got the damage from a bit away, sort of behind my mediums. I mean, look here, this is how quick your hit points can go. We're against an autoloader in Mil 1951. There's one shot. There's just one shot into me. He's got 3 shells. There's 2 shells. I'm now a 1 shot. With 2 shells, excuse me, with 2 shells, I'm now a 1 shot. So that's how quickly your hit points can go. So bear that in mind. But overall, it is a good tank. It's been made nicer since Wargaming gave it the buff, but it's definitely a challenge to play. So let me know what your thoughts are on the Challenger. If you haven't played it, definitely go and play it. Definitely go and grind it, especially when you get to the Charioteer, because when you get to the Charioteer, that's when you start getting the big, juicy hesh. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye.